You were best on ground. I've got to give you that. You were very, very good. But for our listener out there who don't know who Mark M. Davis is, he's the owner of the Vegas Raiders. So we were lucky enough. We were lucky enough to go and watch the Raiders versus the Chargers.
Yes.
And we had media passes. Anyway, we don't know how we got media passes, but we've strolled down. We've had a few, and we're holding drinks. We're holding schooners on the field.
Right. They can't do that, can you?
You can't, well, we didn't know that.
No.
So the players are warming up, and we're behind the red zone, the end zone, what they call it, drinking, and we're just taking it all in. Anyway, the players come off the field, and we thought it was similar to what happens in league when they run up the tunnel. Come on, boys, get into it.
Get into it, you low plungers.
We were revving them up. They took their helmets off to look at us to say, that doesn't happen.
No.
So much so that the owner, who was warming up with them, it'd be a bit like Richo, the West Tigers, just running out there. Well, here comes the owner of the team, and Matty is just pumped for a high five. and like the bloke brushes him, but Matty walks in front of him and basically stops him to get a high five. And he was so shocked. Because they don't do that. It was a bizarre sort of warm up.
It was a marriage of just two cultures in the fact that, as you said before, a media pass all access, like why they would give it to us, and then we find ourselves drinking schooners on the field as the team's warming up, and what about at full time? So at full time, boys, we've just got right, how about we just go back out there again, mate? We're walking with schooners in on the middle of the field. Security come out and said, "Guys, you can't be here.
You can't do that." And I had the pass. And I said, "But no, we're with Fox." And then one girl goes, "Yeah, who's your boss?" And I said, "Lachlan effing Murdoch."
Mate, but what happened, Fletch? Our little rev up speech before the game. Yep. Not that we saw a ball thrown, kicked, or anything. Mate, they won by the largest margin in Raiders history. They won by 60 points.
Yeah, 14th of December, 63-21 shellacking.
Yeah, and the week before, they only managed to get 3 points.
Correct, the worst game in history.
So you do the math.
That's right.
We was at the bar. We didn't even see the game. All we kept hearing was roaring. I was going, "Oh, mate, they're in again."
Yeah, it got a bit boring. It got a bit boring after that because then we're in this real flash area where you could just eat anything you wanted.
Yes.
So it was like a buffet. Hindy and Gordon gave it a real good note, but it wasn't party pies.
No.
It wasn't party pies. There's free pour.
Yeah.
So you go and get your salmon. You go get your bok choy.
Yeah.
You go get your brown rice with a bit of kale in it, and then you would walk down and get. Can I get a Don Julio tequila? No problem. So you're talking to the bloke, and he's free pouring it.
Wow.
Where are you from, man?
What about the tailgate? Well, that would have been okay.
Our man really got into a lot of trouble. Because, as we know, in that part of the world, gang violence is a little rife. And we're getting photos, and Fletch was doing a symbol. Wasn't meant to be any sort of Bloods or Crips, but there were a couple of people there who warned Fletch, don't do that. You may be murdered.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But, it was full on. So the Raiders, you know how the Raiders were known as the bad boys in the 80s.
Yes.
I think a lot of the fans took that on board. So, they had the black and white. It was like, black was like evil, and then NWA started wearing it. It was all in that 80s sort of thing.
The LA Raiders. So
a lot of Los Angeles Raiders residents drove to Vegas. But that was super friendly. One guy leant over to get me some of his tacos. And he had a Roscoe in there. I could see I saw a gun sticking out his jorts.
Do you know the thing about it is though, Fletch? Like, Americans are great in their own country. They're so nice. Even the gangsters were nice.
We were saying
they're pistol packing, and they were so nice.
We were saying they were the kindest murderers we've ever met.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh no.
Mate, and then what about? So I'm standing there. We're at the tailgate party, and just mate, it was just a blur. We're a maggot. Anyway, our producer goes, "Mate, we got to. There's a bloke on the line from the New York Times or the New York Post, and mate, he wants to talk to someone about hip drop tackles." would anyone try? I said, yeah, give him here. Mate, I was on there for about 20 minutes talking to the bloke, and I was just like, what? Anyway, I got a text from our man, Hutchie. Texted me the next morning and goes, mate, you've gone international. I'm just reading the New York Times. There's a big thing about you. He goes, mate, you give it to Tom Brady a little bit. I said, no, really? Apparently they said something like Tom Brady came out and said, the game's going soft. And I said to the bloke in the New York Times, I said, fancy Tom Brady saying that. He didn't get hit for 10 years.
But
I'm officially having a feud with Giselle's ex.
Well, we spoke to someone who knows him very well, said he's boring as batshit.
Yeah,
so we asked
he
someone.
did.
Yep. And we said,
I
what's he
heard
like?
a few of the people went to that speaking thing that he did, and I think the most exciting thing that happened was when he threw the ball to Reece Walsh.
Yes. Oh no, I thought it when he got Lockie Neal right on the chest. That was good. Matthew,
Right.
the football season's not far away. We were just talking about the Bulldogs today.
Yep.
Can you see them improving?
I can. I can see the Bulldogs moving up into the mid-table. I don't know if they'll play finals foot, but it's a little bit like I think, fellas, when a team has been, had the foot on the throat from other sides or the top of the head for a while, once they start to get that winning feeling, you see the confidence start to grow and they really take off. So if the Bulldogs, if they can get off to a good start, then...
Sorry, Matty. Sorry, I'm just looking at your man, Marky Davis' hair, don't. How bad is it?
Mate. Have you ever seen the old man? He was the guy, mate. His old man looked like a screaming skull.
The hair.
He was the one that penned. He came up with the saying, "Just win, baby, just win."
Marky Davis.
Yeah, screaming skull, big time. What about the hair? What about the Darryl?
Yeah.
And that's coming from me.
we didn't speak about. I didn't speak about Matthew. You going over to Vegas. So we got an upgrade. We used our points to get an upgrade. Well, Gordon. Obviously, he's got 2 million points. He kept showing me every day on his iPad. Hey, Fletch.
Gordon's got his own plane.
So Heidi and I got upgraded, and then Matthew couldn't get upgraded. So we went down and saw him. He sleeps sitting up. Like his legs don't touch the ground. I was swinging.
Mate,
is this the way there or back?
Fletch.
This is the way there. Yeah. So we came down for a visit.
Righto, let's just 1 second before we get on to that. Let's just paint the picture, boys, what really happened. When you said, Matty couldn't get an upgrade, right? So, about a week before we left, Trish goes, listen, we've got enough points. Do you want to get an upgrade? And I said, look, it's all in, one in, all in. I said, I can't get on the plane and turn left and the boys are going right. I said, mate, we're all going over economy. It's all good. So we're at the airport and we're sitting there having a beer. And I say to the boys, what seats are you blokes in? And I could see them nervously fudge. And I thought, Hindy actually got his boarding pass and pulled it off the table a little bit. And I've gone, what? And they were 10C and 11A. And I went, what? And they said, where are you? And I was like, 121F. They got the upgrade.
We didn't get the upgrade, but you were happy with it. I tell you what, you didn't whinge, but he sleeps standing up, full upright. He did. He was sleeping. He had two. I thought they were ginger beer.
Yeah,
it wasn't ginger beer.
Nah, that's it. That always helps, mate. When you just slam about a dozen whiskies into you. Because the bloke came down. The bloke who was the flight steward was a rugby league fan, and he come down and goes, mate, Fletch and Hindy are up in business. What are you doing here? Anyway, he took pity on me and he just kept going, mate, do you want another one? I said, yes, just keep them coming. And
it's good
so,
times.
mate, I literally got there, boys. I slept, I think, all but 2 hours the way going over. Woke up with a shocking hangover, but not jet lagged.
Oh, that's wonderful stuff.
Now, let's get back to rugby league. We went up and spoke to the Newcastle Knights, your former club.
Oh, here we go.
And, no, we were just going through it. So they've got young Tyson Gamble, they got Jackson Hastings, and they bought Jack Cogger. Matthew, if you're Adam O'Brien, who do you think's running out in the 7 and 6 jersey round one?
Well, they've signed young Cogger, who, look, he should be there because he was the unsung hero of the grand final. I thought when he came on the field, I think he was one of the main reasons they run him down. He sort of freed Nathan up to sort of pick and choose what he wanted to do. So it's an interesting one. I reckon it'll be Hastings, and it wouldn't surprise me if Gamble comes off in maybe a 14 roll, something like that. But you know what, the Hastings Gamble thing last year, with working with Kalen, worked a treat. So yeah, there's a little bit of depth there. It'd be interesting what they do. But Gamble can play a little bit of 13, I suppose. But
I'm thinking one of those players won't finish the year at the Knights. There you go.
I agree with you.
There you go.
Well, there was a little bit of talk of Jackson Hastings, about Flano being interested in Jackson Hastings, taking him to the Dragons. But,
there you go. Done. He's a junior too.
He is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, there you go.
As they say, seems like the perfect fit.
Yes, and there's another saying, buying the farm back.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah. Heine's done that.
And the other one, mate. Oh, mate, what about him? I ran into Trish when I were in... Trish, where were we? That place. They speak French.
Quebec.
Yeah, we went to... Yeah. Mate, I'll put it out there for the listeners. If you want a cheap holiday that feels like you're the other side of the world, but you're only 3 hours away, mate, Noumea, French colony, they all speak French. Like, you feel like the other side of the world, but mate, it's as Fletch would say, the Jerry. And, really
Jerry Krause.
Anyway,
yeah, but what about
when
Noahs?
I run into these,
There's a lot of Noahs there.
Mate, they have a huge problem with tiger sharks there.
Leave me out of that then. Sorry, Noumea.
Any colonels?
No colonel. No colonel. Let's move on.
But mate, I'll get over there, and there's these people, really nice people, and I talked to something anyway. The bloke, he's into housing stuff and suppliers and that. Anyway, he goes, "Oh, I do stuff for Hindy and Bonnie," and I was like, "Oh wow, really?" And he goes, "Oh, mate, Hindy," he goes, "fair dinkum. How much has he got?" I said, "Mate, well, I don't know. You tell me." He goes, "Oh, unbelievable." I mean, and he's just, where's he going to move, Fletch?
No, he's moved.
He sold at Glen Hay.
Yeah, he sold his house. So Leighton Hewitt and Beck Cartwright, they've bought the Hindmarsh Hacienda.
This is a real shush column here today, isn't it?
No, it was in the papers. I'm not speaking out of school. What I am speaking out of school is the amount they got.
Oh, mate, what does it sound like, Fletch?
It sounds exactly like 11. It rhymes with 11. So if you're doing, what's the code in bingo? 11.
Legs.
Yeah.
There you go, legs.
Jersey
Legs. But he's moved up the road to Kenthurst.
I'll tell you what.
Big swingers area. Big swingers.
Yeah, massive, unbelievable. Be very popular. Well, not Hindy. But anyway, he was, mate, I tell you what, on the Vegas tour, you got to tip your hat to Nathan. He was incredible.
Well, he did have to put up with you singing some song you made up on the flight into Gordon Tallis. Into Gordon. So Hindy was in the middle, and on the right was Matthew singing this song that he wrote on the plane into Gordon on the left, saying anything we'd ever done or anything we'd ever bought or anything we've ever drunk or eaten, Gordon has done that 4 times better.
One upper.
Oh, massive one upper.
Easy.
Stewie Topper.
So Fletch and Hindy, the dynamic duo, on the flight back, getting ready for the flight back from LA, and they left me with Gordon, and so dudded me again, and Gordon was just on a massive roll, like talking about shoes, mate, clothes, flights, everything, cars, you name it. But I pretended I was asleep. And,
Matthew, you were asleep.
Yeah.
I was.
You were asleep.
Impossible to wake up a man who's pretending to be asleep.
Matty, great to have you back.
There we go.
Great to have you back. Morning Glory with Matty Johns, with Andrew Webster and Denon Kemp in 2024. We'll chat on Thursday.
Good on you, lads.
See you, boys.
See you, mate.